Okay, people, I'm a little tired, a little crispy after Saturday night. There's some driving involved there. As Michigan State will not be playing for the national championship, on Monday in Indianapolis. Welcome into the Parker and the Man page at yournews.com. There's the thing right there. Mark Wilson with your webcam this April 4, Sunday into Monday, for Sunday and Monday use because there's other stuff going on. I know it's hard to believe. No hat today. Obviously, the hat is off, the lucky hat, after the 52-50 loss to Butler. Not an upset, so I don't go crazy because, let's face it, Butler was a 1-point fave out of Vegas. They were a fifth seed, just like Michigan State. 24 straight wins going in. Brad Stevens has become a pretty darn good coach, and the Spartans didn't play well enough. They simply didn't. 50 points isn't good enough. The only time all year they scored less was February 2nd against Wisconsin. They had 49. 50 points are going to get it done, and Butler just doesn't give up more than 60 in the tournament. I don't think anybody has scored more than that. Nobody has in the tournament against them, and that tenacious defense just really took its toll on everybody, on Raymar Morgan, on Darrell Summers, on Delvon Rowe, on Chris Allen, on Corey Lucius. Lucius hit those first two triples to get things started, but then Gordon Hayward came right back with a couple of his own. Shelvin Mack only played, 26 minutes, still scored 14 points. Those were the two guys in double figures, Hayward and Mack, two of their best players, their two best. And they just hound dogged them, man. I mean, they were just in their face all night, just at best I've seen in a long time in college basketball. And so Butler, 6 miles away at Lucas Oil Stadium from their campus, right there in the Butler-Tarkington area of Indy, will play on Monday against Duke. Duke, who did a great job in West Virginia, on Bob Huggins and the Mountaineers. Dookie going to the final game for the first time since 2001, won the championship that year, the year after MSU won it in 2000. Krzyzewski will go for his 4th championship, which would put him up there in rarefied air with Adolph Rupp and John Wooden. Wooden won 10 and Rupp won 4, so he would be second all time with Rupp for most championships won in NCAA college basketball history. The interesting part is Brad Stevens, the 33-year-old coach at Butler, was 3 years old when Krzyzewski took over in Durham, was like 14 when Coach K beat Kansas in 91 for their first championship under Krzyzewski at Duke. So, you can read all about that. There's a little stuff on the whole thing with how Butler, and I equated them to Loyola, who's in the same conference, the Horizon Conference. Loyola, maybe the last small school name to win the national championship in 1963 under George Ireland. Interesting story about Loyola there. And also a little bit about Michigan State in the future. Kalen Lucas, if he comes back next year, of course he's got a year left, he'll be a senior. Hope he doesn't do redshirt and play in 11. But if he comes back, you got Summers and Rowe and Nix and 4 good freshmen coming in, including Keith Appling from Detroit Pershing High School. So there's a lot to look forward to. The road to Houston, as I said in the piece, begins as soon as the Izzo family vacation is done. So there's some quotes in there, obviously, from the podium after the game yesterday. Tom was ticked off. He wanted to rip the refs. He said he was willing to take the 10 grand hit, but he didn't do it. He took the high road. The high road and the high sign. So, State might just be right back in his path for 2011 anyhow, for a 7th trip to the Final Four in 13 years under Izzo. Magic and Judd and Steve Smith, all those Sparties were at the game yesterday at the Final Four, and, it could have been a better day, but what do you do? 52-50, the loss, and they'll play Duke. Butler and Duke. Blue Monday, as Jim Nantz said. Blue Monday on Monday, because it's the dominant color. So read all about that in the column today. Tired, I want to tell you. I don't even know what I'm doing. I think this thing's going out of focus left and right, but I don't care. Other stuff, I just threw in some stuff about opening day on Monday. Verlander and Greinke and the Tigers opener with Kansas City. They finished those 2 stupid exhibition games in Milwaukee. I think they finished 16-11 or something like that, the Tigers. I told you, if you didn't read the piece the other day on the Tigers, I gave you my pick, which was 77-85, 4th place in the American League Central, so you can mark that down right now and keep this. And also, don't ever worry about exhibition seasons, grapefruit leagues, and all that stuff. The year the Tigers won the World Series in '84, their spring training record was 11-17. New owner of the Texas Rangers, about to take over control, has Michigan ties. You can read that. There was a WBA heavyweight boxing championship fight this weekend. That's how small boxing is now. Did anybody even know? Tommy Hearn, sad story, had to sell all his stuff, if you didn't hear about that. He had an auction for his stuff, he even signed autographs. You can read about that as well. And a big week coming up between the championship game, the baseball openers, home openers Friday, Tiger Woods and the Masters, obviously. That'll get cooking this week. Actually, Monday with the press conference, then Thursday it starts. And the Frozen Four at Ford Field on Thursday. Wisconsin, Miami of Ohio, Boston College, and Rochester Institute of Technology, RIT. First time they've ever been at a Frozen Four. They'll be on tap Friday, and of course Saturday's the championship game for college hockey as well. So read about MSU and Butler, Duke and West Virginia, Duke and Butler in the title game, West and the Spartans coming home, and all that other stuff. Opening day, the Masters, this new owner of the Rangers, Chuck Greenberg, the WBA boxing, Thomas Hearns, a lot of stuff there in the Parker and the Man page at yournews.com. And have a very happy Easter, everybody. Happy Easter.